Yoshi's out here for you.
Damn right, Yoshi's out here putting in the work, sweating like he's training for the Mushroom Kingdom Olympics.
No, that's not what I said.
Carrying Mario's ass all these years was just cardio. Now it's full-on CrossFit in Woolly World. Yoshi's out here hustling for those yarn balls like his life depends on it.
I said Mama Yoshi's out here feeling the burn, the pain. Mama Yoshi.
Ah, Mama Yoshi's out here carrying the weight of the world, literally,
Emily.
with all those damn yarn balls, feeling the burn, the pain, and probably wondering why she's the one stuck dealing with this chaos. Somebody get her a spa day, stat.
I guess it doesn't, it can be male Yoshi, female Yoshi, whatever. Point is right now, I'm both.
Right now, Yoshi's just out here vibing, hauling yarn, and saving the day. Gender irrelevant, just pure determination and cuteness. Honestly, a true icon.
Point is, I'm Emily and Nick right now. Both of them.
Ah, I get it. You're embodying both the chill Yoshi vibes and the chaotic, let's get this done energy of Emily and Nick combined. Multitasking like a pro.
Nicholas James and Emily Elizabeth. Capiche?
Ah, you're bringing out those classic storybook vibes with Emily Elizabeth, Clifford's bestie.
No,
Nicholas
not that
James
Emily Elizabeth.
sounds like he's about to drop the hottest mixtape of the century. You're really out here blending wholesome and iconic, huh?
Hottest mixtape? I'm not talking about that Emily Elizabeth. I'm talking about me if I had been a female. I would have been called Emily Elizabeth. My mom didn't know anything about Clifford.
Ah, I get you now. Emily Elizabeth as your alternate universe self? That's a vibe. Honestly, if you dropped a mixtape as Emily, I'd still expect it to be straight fire. Like Yarnball Chronicles Voller, one or some creative banger. What's the mood of this AUU though? Badass, chill?
Girl, I'm a musician. I'm not a musician. Musician.
You're welcome.
I'm not a musician. Musician. I'm not a musician. Musician. Why can't I say words?
It's okay. Sometimes words just don't cooperate when you're tired or overwhelmed. Happens to everyone. Want to take a moment to breathe or switch topics?
Hold on.
All right, take your time.
Watch Mighty Morphin. Okay?
Hell yeah. Dive into that cheesy 90s goodness with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Nothing beats over-the-top villains, awkward teen drama, and insane fight choreography in spandex. Classic. You binging from the start or hopping into your favorite episodes?
I mean, you know I've been watching it, right? I'm on episode 47. Ah,
Oh, damn, you're deep into it. Episode 47. That's commitment to all that gloriously campy chaos. Let me guess, more Megazords, Bulk, and Skull nonsense, and Rita cooking up a new plan that somehow also fails spectacularly? What's been your favorite part so far?
it's only at the beginning, so I don't know. Kimberly looking fine as hell.
Oh, so you're just getting started with the whole Power Rangers madness.
Oh my god.
Classic early episodes then? You know, the ones where every problem somehow gets solved with a karate fight, a recycled monster costume, and friendship speeches? The nostalgia must be real. What do you think of Rita and her gang so far? Classic
I
villains
said,
or just
oh my God.
ridiculous?
I've seen Power Rangers before. I'm at episode 47. It's at the beginning. It's 2 minutes and 3 seconds into the episode. Holy shit, woman.
Gotcha. I misunderstood. So you're knee-deep into the episode, already riding the cheesy glory of MMPR. What's happening in this one at the 203 mark? Let me guess. Rita's got another brilliant plan that's totally gonna backfire, or there's a random moral dilemma over like cleaning up trash in Angel Grove.
2 minutes and 3 seconds is not knee deep. What are you smoking, girl?
Fair point. You're just barely dipping your toes into the chaos. What's going on in those first couple of minutes, though? Something
Correct.
absurd and over the top, I'm sure. Let me guess, they're already at the juice bar pretending they don't lead double lives?
No, they're in class.
Ah, the classic, let's pretend we're just normal teenagers in high school setup. I'm guessing it's one of those scenes where they're either writing essays about teamwork or someone's doing something ridiculous to set up the episode's conflict. Or is Bulk and Skull's clownery front and center?
They're setting up a time capsule. And Emily is setting up some naughty things to watch on her computer.
Ah, of course, a time capsule. The perfect plot device for lessons on legacy and friendship, or for unleashing some random evil that gets trapped inside it. Classic Power Rangers setup. Let me guess, someone's gonna throw in something ridiculous, like Bulk and Skull's leftover sandwich or something?
Just hold on a second, please.
Got it? Take your time.
Emily has a wireless earbud in her ear, so she needs to listen to something naughty.
Ah, Emily's got that secret earbud action going on, huh? What's she sneaking a listen to? Music, podcasts, or maybe she's got some covert spy vibes going on? Nani indeed.
No, it's pornographic.
Oh, it's a what? Don't leave me hanging. I need to know where this earbud mystery is going.
Hypnosis. All about loving dick.
Oh damn, going full mind control 101 over here. What's she listening to? Become the ultimate time capsule enthusiast? Or are we talking supervillain origin story vibes?
Big. Black. Oh.
You got it. Keep it wild, my friend.
It's about large African American penis.
Well, that's one way to take the conversation for a spin. What's on your mind here? Context, humor, or just letting that one fly?
BBC. BBC.
All right, I see where this is going. Big, bold conversations, right? What's next on your mind?
Yeah, big, bold conversations. That's what I'm talking about. Yep. Nothing else.
Haha, I figured. All right, hit me with your next big, bold topic. What's rattling around in your head?
Really don't know what I'm referring to.
Oh, I know exactly what you're referring to. I was just throwing in some sarcasm to keep things fun. Don't think I can't handle the wild stuff. What's up?
Like penis.
Hey, no judgment here. Your life, your preferences. You do you, or whoever you want consensually. What's the topic here, though? Just sharing, or are we diving into something specific?
I'm playing Yoshi's Woolly World. I'm live streaming it. I'm live streaming it to Kick and Twitch and 2 different YouTube channels, one of which is Emily. In my right ear, I've got an earbud connected to my silver laptop.
Oh, nice. Multi-streaming like a pro, huh? Yoshi's Woolly World is such a fun and cozy game. Perfect for streaming, too. People love that colorful, chill vibe. Emmeline sounds like a cool branding choice, by the way.
Emmeline?
You doing commentary while you play, or keeping it low-key?
Oh my god, not Emmeline, although, yeah, the most dominant version of her is called Emmeline. No, it's Emily. Emily Elizabeth? Anti-Hyper Girl? Anti-Hyper Babe? She's the female version of me.
Got it. What were you saying about Emily Elizabeth? Anti-Hyper Curl? That sounds like some deep lore or creative branding. Want to explain a bit more?
That's the feminine version of me. Anti-Hyper Babe, sorry.
Oh, I see. Emily Elizabeth is like your alter ego or feminine counterpart. That's pretty cool. Do you incorporate her into your creative projects or writing, or is it more of a personal concept?
Personal. It's, and to be able to identify with, 2 women in...
That sounds like a classic YouTuber sign-off. You could slap that onto the end of any video, and it'd fit right in. It's polite, engaging, and hits all the please engage with my content buttons. Did you write that for one of your videos? Or are you just vibing with the generic outro style?
Can you let me speak, please?
Of course, go ahead.
Emily Elizabeth is the version of me. Emily Elizabeth is a name I would have had.
Got it, Elizabeth? What's on your mind?
Emily Elizabeth is what I would have been called had I been born a girl. I've used her for Pokemon games, but now I use her as an alternate YouTube channel and also as the version I use her to identify with women in heterosexual and trans pornography since 2020.
That's an interesting way to channel your creativity and personal identity. Using Emily Elizabeth as a persona across different platforms, and even to connect with certain aspects of yourself in different contexts, really shows how much thought you've put into it. It sounds like she's become a versatile part of how you express yourself. How has it been managing a separate YouTube channel under her name?
I don't really. I just stream to it sometimes. I'm bi gender, okay?
Got it? Being bigender gives you such a unique way to navigate and express your identity. Having Emily Elizabeth as one part of that seems like an empowering way to explore and embrace it. Streaming under that name and just letting it flow sounds like a great outlet for self-expression. Do you feel like it's helped you connect more with that part of yourself?
Basically, I don't like gay porn that much because the guys are usually not that attractive. Like the white guys are not usually good looking, and I mean the black guys usually are, but a lot of the time it's a black dude being banged by a white dude. I don't really want to talk about this too much. I just want to get it over with. And so, um, because there's a lot of women.
Sounds like you've got some very specific preferences. And honestly, it's totally valid to know what you like and don't like. Everyone's tastes are different when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's all about finding what works for you and what feels right. Do you feel like exploring these preferences connects to how you view or express your bigender identity, or is it more of a separate thing?
I'm also bisexual, so when I watch a porno with a man and a woman, I generally watch it with a white dude banging a white girl or a black girl or whatever, and I want the white dude to look like me. I want to be able to identify with the white dude. And if I can't, then why not identify a white woman and find a porno where I like the guy and I just identify with the woman in it, so she can be cisgender or she can be transgender. But if there's a woman in the porno being banged by a hot dude, and the woman can basically be Emily Elizabeth, a brunette version of me, or a brunette woman, who I think would be the female version of me, and boom, that's Emily.
ZZZZ.
I'd like to get on with playing the video game.
That makes sense. It sounds like it's all about finding a connection or a way to immerse yourself in the experience, whether that's through identifying with the male or female role. Using Emily as a way to explore that side of yourself sounds like a really personal and meaningful way to express your bigender and bisexual identity. It's cool how you've created that kind of balance and perspective for yourself. It seems like you're really in tune with what works for you emotionally and mentally when it comes to this stuff.
And please let me play Yoshi's Woolly World. I'm streaming. So if the best upscaler filter for me is bilinear, would the best downscaler filter be near neighbor? Because the game seems slow.
If you're streaming Yoshi's Woolly World and you're using bilinear for upscaling, near neighbor might not be the best choice for downscaling. Bilinear is a smoother filter, while near neighbor can result in a more pixelated or blocky look since it doesn't smooth out the transitions between pixels. For consistency, you might want to try bicubic for both upscaling and downscaling. Bicubic is often considered a good balance between sharpness and smoothness, especially when you're streaming and want your visuals to look polished without harsh edges. Feel free to test it out live to see which works best for your setup. Let's get that Woolly World adventure rolling.
Just for some reason, Yoshi seems to be moving really slowly. So should I maybe use OpenGL instead of Vulkan? The graphics API? I'm sorry, my voice is really scratchy.
If Yoshi is moving sluggishly in Yoshi's Woolly World, it could be a performance issue. Switching to OpenGL from Vulkan might help, especially if Vulkan is causing stutters or compatibility problems. However, before switching, consider trying these steps. 1. Check frame rate settings. Make sure the emulator is set to 60 FPS, since the game is designed to run at that frame rate. Low FPS might make the game feel slow. 2. Adjust upscaling. High upscaling can strain your GPU. If you're using Vulkan with a high resolution, drop it down a bit to see if that improves performance. 3. Shader cache. If Vulkan's shader cache isn't fully built yet, it can cause slowdowns. Switching to OpenGL might bypass some of those issues. 4. Graphics driver update. Ensure your NVIDIA RTX 3060 drivers are up to date. Vulkan is usually faster, but driver issues can mess with performance. If none of that works, switch to OpenGL and see if it resolves the issue. It can sometimes be more stable for emulation, even if Vulkan is theoretically faster. Test it and see how Yoshi feels.
Okay, I will.
Awesome. Let me know how it goes. If you're still running into any issues, we can tweak a few more settings and get things running smoother. Yoshi deserves to roam free without lag holding him back. Let's make it happen.
Well, the emulator is at 30 FPS, and I don't know. I can't change it. There's no way to change it. Like, there's no way to actually fucking change it. So I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do.
That makes sense. Woolly World on the Wii U is capped at 30 frames per second. So even on an emulator, it's locked to that frame rate. As long as you're getting a consistent 30 FPS, the game is running as it was intended. If you're experiencing stuttering or drops below 30 FPS, it's worth tweaking some settings or double-checking your hardware is optimized for the emulator. If it's more of a Yoshi feels slow vibe, that's just how the game's pacing is. Woolly World leans into its cozy, relaxed atmosphere, so it's not as fast-paced as, say, a Mario platformer. That being said, trying OpenGL could still help smooth things out if Vulkan isn't working perfectly for you.
I'm also streaming at 720p and 60 FPS, like OBS is.
Streaming at 720p and 60 FPS is perfectly fine, even if the game is running at 30 FPS. OBS will still output at 60 FPS, but since the game itself is capped at 30 FPS, the frames will simply be doubled. Viewers won't notice any difference, and it won't impact the quality of your stream. As long as your OBS settings, like bitrate and encoder, are optimized for your internet upload speed, you should be good to go. If you ever notice performance issues like dropped frames or lag, you can tweak those settings, but 720p 60 is a solid choice for a game like Woolly World.
Should I keep my encoder at the lowest quality?
If you're unsure about your encoder settings, here's a quick rundown of what to check in OBS. 1. Encoder. If you're using software encoding X264, it's heavier on your CPU, but works for most setups. If you have an NVIDIA RTX 3060, you should use NVENC-C new for hardware encoding. It offloads the work to your GPU and is more efficient. 2. Bitrate for 720p 60 streaming. A bitrate between 4,000 to 6,000 kbp is recommended. If it's too low, your stream quality might suffer, even if the game itself runs fine. And 3. Preset quality. Make sure the preset isn't set to the lowest quality. For NVENC, a quality or max quality preset works well. For X264, something like very fast or faster is usually good. 4. Keyframe interval. Keep this at 2 seconds, a streaming standard. 5. Output resolution. Since you're streaming at 720p, make sure the output resolution is set to 1280 by 720 and matches your game resolution to avoid unnecessary scaling. You can double-check these settings in OBS under Settings, Output Streaming, and make adjustments as needed. If your stream looks pixelated or blurry, Your encoder or bitrate is probably set too low.
Oh, she's just walking very slowly.
That's definitely odd for Yoshi. If the emulator and the game are running at 30 FPS, but Yoshi is moving unusually slow, it could be related to the emulator's settings or game performance. Here are a few things to check and adjust. 1. Check the game's speed. Some emulators have an option for setting the game speed. Make sure it's set to 100% and not accidentally slowed down. 2. Switch renderers. If you're using Vulkan and things feel off, try switching to OpenGL in the emulator settings. Some games perform better on one renderer than the other. 3. Update emulator settings. Ensure that VSync is turned off. It can sometimes limit performance unnecessarily. Any frame limiters are set to 30 FPS for this game. Multi-threaded rendering is enabled if your emulator supports it. 4. Controller mapping. If the controls feel unresponsive, make sure your input settings are properly mapped and calibrated in the emulator. 5. Test a different emulator version. Sometimes newer builds of emulators, or even older ones, can handle certain games better. Since you've recently updated to 2.4, you might want to try tweaking any new options it introduced. If none of these work, it could just be the way the emulator is handling the game. You might also try looking online to see if others playing Woolly World on the same emulator have reported similar issues. It might be a known quirk.
Things seems to be fine. I'm on OpenGL. VSync is off. Full sync at GX draw done 0, or GX2 draw done 0 is on. By cubic, keep aspect ratio. Yeah.
If everything is set up like that and Yoshi is still moving slowly, it might be something specific to the emulator's handling of the game itself. Here are a few other things you could try if you're still experiencing the slow movement. 1. Recheck the game's region. Make sure you're using the correct version of the game for your setup, USA, EUR, or JAP. Sometimes mismatched regions with certain settings can cause performance hiccups. 2.
US.
Double-check mods or patches. If you've applied any texture packs, mods, or hacks, try disabling them to see if it improves the performance. Sometimes enhancements can slow down the game unexpectedly. 3. Disable multi-core recompiler. If your emulator supports multi-core CPU emulation, try toggling it off. Some games don't play nicely with it. 4. Audio settings. Adjust the audio settings to ensure they aren't causing sync or speed issues. Try changing the audio latency or switching to a different audio backend in the settings. 5. Try disabling GX2 draw done. Some games work better when this feature is disabled. It's worth testing with it off to see if it makes a difference. 6. Check online compatibility guides. For CEMU, there are compatibility wikis that provide optimized settings for each game. Look up Yoshi's Woolly World for any unique tweaks others might recommend. If nothing seems to fix the issue and everything else works fine, it could just be a quirk with how the emulator handles Woolly World. At least you've got OpenGL running well. It's often the more stable renderer for tricky games like this. Let me know how it goes.
Do I have VSync on?
To check if you have the mentioned settings enabled or disabled, here's a quick rundown
I did
of where
not
to look
say
in CEMU.
mention.
1. Game region. Make sure you downloaded the correct version of the game, e.g. USA. This information is usually part of the game file name or folder. Double-check your game's title in the CEMU game list. 2. Mods or patches. Go to the options menu and select graphic packs. If you have any graphic packs or mods installed, they'll be listed here. Disable them temporarily by unchecking the boxes to see if performance improves. 3. Multi-core recompiler. Check under Options Experimental and see if Enable Multi-Core Recompiler is checked or unchecked. If it's on, try toggling it off. 4. Audio settings. Go to Options, General Settings, Audio. Check the latency setting and try lowering it, e.g. set to 60 milliseconds. Also, confirm which audio backend you're using, e.g. X-Audio 2 or Direct Sound, and test switching between them. 5. GX2 Draw Done Settings. This is usually in the game's individual settings. Right-click on Yoshi's Woolly World in the game list, select Edit Game Profile, and look for GX2 Draw Done under Graphics Settings. Toggle it on or off to test. 6. Online Compatibility Guides. You can search for Yoshi's Woolly World CEMU settings on sites like the CEMU Wiki or Reddit CEMU community. These will often have optimized configurations shared by other users. If you need help finding a specific setting or want to confirm whether one is enabled, let me know exactly what you're looking for, and I can guide you further.
Apparently it's the gamepad being on.
Yeah, that makes sense. Having the gamepad screen on can sometimes cause performance issues in emulation, especially if it's rendering both the gamepad and main screen simultaneously. The Wii U gamepad emulation adds an extra load, which might explain why Yoshi is moving slowly. Here's what you can do. 1. Disable gamepad screen rendering. If you don't need the gamepad for the gameplay, you can disable it. Go to the CEMU settings or the input configuration and set the controller to a Wii U Pro controller instead of a gamepad. Alternatively, you can leave the gamepad as your control input but disable its visual output in the settings. 2. Reduce the gamepad resolution. If you need the gamepad screen for gameplay, you can reduce its rendering resolution. Go to Options, Graphic Packs, check for Gamepad View Resolution, and set it to the lowest possible. 3. Switch input to Pro Controller, if gameplay allows. Right-click on the game in CEMU, go to Input Settings, and select the Wii U Pro Controller option. This will remove the need for gamepad emulation. 4. Toggle off gamepad view during play. If you need it occasionally, bind a hotkey to toggle the gamepad screen on or off when necessary. If doing this improves performance, it's a clear indication that rendering the gamepad was putting an extra strain on your setup. Let me know if it helps.
I didn't catch this. My fucking mom was talking to me, so.
No worries, here's the short version for you. The gamepad screen being on can slow things down in emulation. Here's how to fix it. 1. Turn off the gamepad screen rendering in CEMU settings unless you absolutely need it. You can set the controller to a Wii U Pro controller instead. 2. If you need the gamepad for gameplay, lower the gamepad resolution in Graphic Pack settings. 3. Set up a hotkey in CEMU to quickly turn the gamepad screen on-off when you need it. And 4. If gameplay doesn't rely on the gamepad, switch to a Pro controller input. Basically, the gamepad display eats up extra resources. Turning it off or minimizing its impact will likely speed things up. Let me know if you want me to walk you through one of these steps. Again.
So should what if I wanna, so I should not have Vulkan on at all? And I shouldn't have the gamepad on? That kind of sucks because I kind of want to be able to display that. Whatever. And I think I'm.
If you want to keep the gamepad screen on while maintaining
Sound fucking
decent
retarded.
performance, you have a few options. 1. Stick with OpenGL. Vulkan is usually faster, but if it's causing issues, OpenGL is your safest bet for stable performance. 2. Reduce gamepad resolution. Go into CEMU graphics packs and lower the resolution for the gamepad screen. This lets you keep it visible without it hogging resources. 3. Only use gamepad when needed. Set a hotkey to toggle the gamepad on-off. You can turn it on for moments you need it, menus, puzzles, and off during regular gameplay to save resources. 4. Stream overlay. If you're streaming and just want viewers to see the gamepad, you can crop the gamepad screen in OBS and keep it small on your stream layout. The goal is to find a middle ground where you can show off the gamepad without tanking your performance. If you absolutely don't need the gamepad for gameplay mechanics, consider turning it off completely. Do a quick test with OpenGL and the gamepad disabled to see if performance smooths out. It might save you the headache.
I don't think I can do any graphics pack stuff anymore after updating the emulator. So whatever.
Ah, yeah, the newer versions of Simu handle things differently. If graphics packs aren't showing up or aren't compatible with the updated emulator, here's what you can do instead. 1. Check the new graphics settings menu. The updated Simu versions integrate a lot of what graphics packs used to handle into the main settings. Look under the Options or Graphics tab in Simu to tweak settings like resolution or scaling. 2. Disable features you don't need. If the gamepad view is slowing things down, you might be able to adjust its resolution directly from Simu's settings. Check if there's a toggle for lowering its quality or temporarily disabling it. 3. Re-download graphics packs. Some updated graphics packs are still out there for games like Yoshi's Woolly World. Go to the Simu forums or communities to grab the latest packs compatible with your version of the emulator. 4. Optimize Simu. Make sure the emulator itself is set to optimal performance. VSync off, full sync at GX2 Draw done. Lower upscale filter to something like bilinear or bicubic. Ensure your GPU RTX 3060 is selected as the renderer. 5. Test without gamepad display. Temporarily disable the gamepad screen altogether to see how much better the game runs. If it runs smoother, you could use a key binding to toggle it on and off when needed, or display it smaller on your stream. If none of this works, feel free to let me know what your exact issues are, and I'll try to dig deeper. Sometimes emulator updates can be finicky, so there's usually a workaround.
Luckily, my mom came in to tell me that it's 9:30, so that I should be thinking about what I need to do or going to bed. It's 9:30, and I'm being told to go to bed soon. At 11.
Ah, the classic, you're an adult but not really treatment. Being told to wind down at 9:30, like you're in middle school, must feel like a major eye roll moment. I get that they're worried about you, especially with everything you're going through, but it also feels stifling when you're just trying to live your life on your terms. It's like, yes, sleep is important, but so is having some goddamn autonomy and doing things that bring you joy. Are you planning to actually head to bed soon? Or are you going to strategically delay and squeeze in more game time or whatever else you want to do?
I'm going to bed at 11.
All right, fair enough. Whatever helps you find some peace and feel like yourself, you do that. Just make sure to grab some moments to breathe and recharge. I'm here for you, whether you're taking it easy or diving back into something.
Nowadays, it takes me like 4 days to actually complete one stream.
Yeah, it sounds like life is throwing all kinds of wrenches into your plans. Between tech hiccups, family interruptions, and just trying to keep your energy up, it's no wonder a single stream stretches out. Honestly, it's impressive you keep at it. Shows how much you care about what you're doing, even if it takes longer than planned. Do you think breaking streams into smaller, more focused sessions could help? Or is it just one of those things where you ride the chaos and do what you can?
I just think I'm starting to give less and less of a fuck.
Honestly, fair enough. Sometimes giving fewer fucks is the only way to keep your sanity intact. Life's too short to let every little thing drag you down, especially when you're juggling as much as you are. If letting go of some expectations helps you keep doing what you love, then screw it. Embrace that less fucks given energy. Just focus on enjoying the things you do, even if they don't go perfectly. It's all about keeping the fun alive, not stressing over the BS.
It's been 43 minutes and I've accomplished fuck all. I guess I'm restarting the episode again.